beyond the dashboard, you have databases, which is basically how this is what makes the whole thing work. So primarily we have the all topics database. Hello everyone. This is a brief overview of how the Notion company knowledge base works, or the team wiki as some would call it. Now, first of all, you have the default dashboard, which in this case is categorized into the different departments in your team, which is what we are saying now. And inside each of these departments folders, you get to see all the relevant topics that are associated with that department. Let's delve a bit deeper into the knowledge base. We begin by opening this folder. We'll open the folder for the WordPress team. Opening it, we get to this area, just opened in a new tab. And so we can see the different articles that are related or that are relevant to the WordPress team. So when we open any folder, the general content you will find would typically relate to things like the standard operating procedures of the team. You can have a sort of welcome to the team write-up, such as what you will have for new team members. This way, they can essentially just go through to begin getting up to speed with basic rules and processes that are relevant to them in the team within a short time. You will find things like company best practices, troubleshooting guides, and so much more. And all these are tailored to your industry or your field, of course, as well as your team's physical workflow and overall needs. Now, going back to the home page, one other thing that is on the dashboard itself is this helpful tips toggle. So once you open it, you can see that there are a few tips that one could use to find a few things to basically how to navigate the library. You can also see a video entry of how to navigate the knowledge base. When we open that in the new tab, it's actually here using the team library and knowledge base. And so this is a video that basically outlines everything. So yeah, that is basically all that this list is categorized into. It's just you have your topics and then general, or rather smaller subtopics related to the WordPress team in this case. And of course, the categories might be different with your team, or you might want to configure things a bit differently to fit better with your field or your niche. Real-time updates, you can update everything you can see on the dashboard. These real-time updates are possible too, as everything in the knowledge base is designed to be fully customizable at any time. Next up, we have linked tables or linked databases, and this is basically how the entire knowledge base works. So beyond the dashboard, you have databases, which is basically how this is what makes the whole thing work. So primarily we have the all topics database. This is just the back office of where the knowledge base is before we divide everything into the library and present it in this way. So basically you have the all subjects library, and then you have the all topics library, and everything is linked to the departments outside here. So for every subject here, as we can see, we can tag as many topics that are related to that particular subject. So for example, if we have things like domains and hosting, the topics that are related to domains and hosting, we can tag them from here once we create them. And so once we tag them and you open the domains and hosting folder, you will find out that all the relevant topics are now appearing there. In this case, we have 34 of them. Some of them are ticked, some of them are unticked. The reason these are unticked is because the contents actually are in progress, and so we are not quite done with them. Perhaps we want to replace a video, or we want to include texts, or we want to include something else. So whenever everything is complete, we just tick it, and that's how we know that it's complete. Based on how complete the knowledge base is, or each topic is, that's how you see the percentages here. In this case, they are not all complete. Typically, they'll have text content, but they might need videos, they might need screenshots or screen recordings, just some other media files, basically. And so because those have not yet been added, this percentage draws our attention to it. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to the knowledge base. All you need to do is to enter the topic and tag the necessary department. In this case, this is the subject. We have tagged the department. And so when you add the topic, you can now tag the corresponding subject. And so moving on, how do we actually find what we need in this long list of entries? in order to do that, it's pretty simple because thankfully, no one actually needs to read a knowledge base like a book. That's not how a dictionary is designed. Rather, we all want to run a search for something specific and get the information quickly. So that being said, we'll be taking advantage of the search function, which is here, as we all know. So in order to find a particular content, the first thing we will need to do is to click the search button as we have already done, and then you go to in page. And because we want to find contents that are in the topics database only, and not everything that is in your entire Notion workspace. So what you want to do is to type topics so that it selects that particular database for you to search from. In this case, it's all topics that we need. And so now that topics has been filtered for, every single search result will come from the topic database. And so that is the idea of using the filtered view. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The only way to use direct search, for example, is when you have a dedicated Notion workspace that houses only the knowledge base. So this obviously means that the wiki information will be the only data that the Notion workspace will have to search through. But that is beyond the scope of this overview, so we will not be going into that. Finally, we will be looking into sharing and privacy. Now, on the subject of privacy, we realized the need to keep some things confidential, even within a small team, and even more importantly, in a large team. And so in this Notion knowledge base, privacy concerns have been taken care of with a bit of creativity. And without going into too much detail, we have the ability to share differently between different groups in a team as needed. Also, while sharing, you should bear in mind that sharing with groups is a feature that is reserved for the Notion team plan. For the personal pro plan, you will find that you can take advantage of being able to share with unlimited guests also. However, you will need to do so for each individual guest. So that's just something that you will need to bear in mind. So one extra tip to help populate the knowledge base, this is just for small teams, is the use of a suggestion box. So we'll just open that in a new window, which is here. This is the suggestion box window, and this is just for a growing company or team looking to grow their knowledge base. Well, this could really be official or unofficial. It just applies to teams who do not already have a comprehensive knowledge base content to import from somewhere else. So teammates can basically just suggest entries to be made on basically their most recurring needs. And so these requests can be made on a Notion form, which we can embed here. From there, it submits to, say, an assigned mailing address or a workspace where the documentation team can have access to it. And this way, you see that the documentation team is now sure of the most important topics or standard operating procedures or troubleshooting guides or other related entries that will take priority before other content. So that's it. This was a simple guide to setting up a comprehensive team knowledge base built in Notion, and I trust you found it useful. Thanks for watching.